Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new live stream. This is Tosif, and my channel is about social and political issues, both domestic and international. And on this channel, we discuss a wide variety of issues. You know, when you look at current affairs, what's happening in this country and around the world, there is a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss, you know, every day. That's how the 24-hour news cycle, it just goes on and on and on. You know, the breaking news, the flow of breaking news, it never stops, never stops. And that's how this 24-hour news cycle goes on and on and on. But I just do live stream as and when I feel necessary, because it is always my goal. Obviously, I cannot discuss everything that's going on. It's not possible to discuss everything. So I pick a few things that I think are of great significance. Economic issues, healthcare related issues, border security, public safety, other social and political issues, election. And so I bring to you the latest information, the facts and the figures and the data, and then I share my analysis. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate your support for this channel. And before I begin, before I go into the discussion, I would like to just say I'm very grateful for all the good wishes that I received yesterday. For all the good wishes. I'm truly touched because so many people, some through Facebook, some through Instagram, some through my YouTube channel, others through LinkedIn. You know, people reached out to me. People reached out to me and expressed their heartfelt good wishes. Why? Because yesterday was the 10th anniversary of my naturalization ceremony. So my naturalization ceremony, it was in November of 2014. So I became a United States citizen 10 years ago. And yesterday I posted some pictures on my YouTube channel. I posted pictures on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Facebook, and people sent me their good wishes and congratulations because it's obviously a big milestone, 10 years as a US citizen. So I just wanted to say how thankful I am for all the good wishes. Okay, I truly appreciate. Okay, I'm very, very touched seeing all the kind messages and all the wonderful words from you all. So thank you so much once again. I'm very grateful. So my friends, let's talk about one of the biggest issues right now. I think. There's a caravan. There's a caravan of foreign nationals heading towards the southern border of the United States. And some of you have already seen the news. I mentioned it. I think it was yesterday that I briefly mentioned it. I briefly mentioned it yesterday, but I did not go into the details. So there are foreign nationals who are rushing towards the southern border before Donald Trump takes the oath of office. Foreign nationals from, I think it's being reported that mostly Central America and South America. So mostly Central and South American foreign nationals who are rushing towards the southern border of the United States. Okay, so they are coming from the south, they are heading north, and they're heading towards our southern border. And this is a caravan of foreign nationals. Okay, you can call it a migrant caravan because these individuals, their sole purpose is to enter the United States illegally. Okay, I mean, when there's a weak administration in power, the foreign nationals, they like to break the laws, it seems. I mean, when there's a weak administration in power right now, the Biden-Harris administration, all these people from Central America, South America, and other parts of the world, they're making it very clear that their intention is to break our laws. Okay, when somebody enters the United States illegally, that's breaking the law, and that's exactly what this migrant caravan, the people who are in this migrant caravan, that's exactly what their intention is. Okay, because these people know that when Trump becomes the president, obviously Trump is the winner of the election. Trump is the president-elect. Is the president-elect, but he is still not in power. He's still not in power. And so Trump is going to officially become the president on January 20th of 2025. That's when the swearing in will be. He has to be sworn in as the president of the United States. And the whole world knows that date. They know that from January 20th of 2025, okay, it's going to be a new administration, and their top priority will be to secure the border and to stop the influx of illegal immigrants. So what people are doing right now, those who want to come into the United States illegally, they are rushing. They're rushing. That's what's happening. Okay, and as much as we are celebrating Donald Trump's victory, we also have to understand that he is officially not in power right now. The Biden-Harris team is still in charge. The Biden-Harris team is still in charge, which is exactly why we are seeing, the continuation of the border crisis. Okay, I mean, day one on the job. Okay, Donald Trump, day one in office, Donald Trump is going to do everything he can. He's going to take action on day one to secure the southern border. Okay, I mean, I don't think it's going to be day 2 or day 3 or day 4. The process is going to start on day 1. Donald Trump is going to work on securing the southern border and stopping the influx of illegal immigrants. But right now, the whole world knows that the Biden-Harris team is still in charge, which is why these people in this caravan, they're rushing towards the border. They want to cross the border while Biden is still in office. Okay, they want to cross the border as the border remains open. Okay, this is unacceptable, but this is the reality, and the situation is actually getting worse. It's getting worse, and that's why I keep saying that the border crisis is ongoing. It's ongoing, and it will stop. The border crisis will come to an end when Donald Trump comes to power officially, and when he takes actions to stop the influx of the illegal immigrants. But so far, the border's open, and this caravan, it is just unbelievable that there's a caravan that's heading towards the southern border. And do you know how many people there are in this caravan? It's being reported that it's 1,500. 1,500, okay? But do you think it's really going to stay at 1,500? I mean, as the caravan travels towards the southern border, okay, coming from south of the border, heading north, but towards our southern border. Do you think it's going to stay at 1,500? Don't you think that the number is going to increase, that more people will join this caravan? Maybe it's going to be a few thousand people, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know. It's unbelievable. And this is not the first caravan. We have seen caravans in the past. They try to gather in large numbers, and they try to rush into the United States. So foreign nationals, they are trying to get to the southern border of the United States in a desperate attempt to enter. This is what is going on. Okay, people want to get to the United States before Trump officially becomes the president. So my friends, unacceptable, but this is what we're still witnessing. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention. Okay, yes, we are happy. Yes, we're celebrating Trump's victory. Yes, we're looking forward to a brighter future. But the problems continue, and the problems will continue for the remainder, for the time that's remaining for this administration, the Biden-Harris administration. And so, you can look up different news reports, and you will see that Donald Trump, he obviously has made the promise to enforce our nation's immigration laws and secure the border. But this migrant caravan, it's trying to get here before Trump comes to office. So the migrant caravan, based on the reports I'm reading, it's currently moving through Mexico. Okay, moving through Mexico. And really the question is Mexico doing anything to stop this migrant caravan? I mean, that's the question I want to ask. Is Mexico doing anything? I mean, this migrant caravan is moving through Mexico. So what exactly is Mexico doing to stop this caravan? Does anyone know? I have not heard of any action being taken by Mexico, okay, to stop this caravan. And that's why, my friends, I keep saying that we need a bold leader in the White House, a leader who can negotiate with foreign leaders. Okay? If we had a real strong leader in the White House right now, that leader could negotiate with Mexico, okay, to make sure that the country cooperates in ensuring that migrant caravans are not able to cross into the U.S., okay? But we have an administration in charge. We have a president right now, Joe Biden, who basically has allowed this border crisis to grow, okay? And so obviously the president who is in office right now isn't going to do much to negotiate with Mexico and stop this migrant caravan. But if Donald Trump is elected, okay, he is, read his book, Art of the Deal. He's going to use all the tools that are available to him to make sure that Mexico, okay, the country of Mexico, also partners or cooperates with the United States to stop these caravans. And that's why, my friends. So, it's dealing with other countries, diplomacy. It's not very easy. It's not very easy. A lot of people think that it's easy, but it's not. It's not just what you say, but what you do. Okay, when it comes to international relations. So, I'm not going to go into a detailed discussion, but we have our international allies, and then we also have those who are uh, maybe not exactly allies. Maybe they're not on the same page as we are. So how do we negotiate with those countries? And then of course there are countries that are openly they are adversaries. Okay, they are not friends of ours. So how do we negotiate with them? If you remember, my friends, Donald Trump, when he was in office, he not only met with and negotiated with our international allies, but also met with our adversaries and all the countries in between, those who are neither allies, not nor adversaries. They're just there in between somewhere. Donald Trump was very successful in negotiating with foreign leaders. Okay, I mean, just you have to look at the image. You have to look at the image. Remember, I think one of the biggest historical images, and I think this, not just one image, but there are images and video clips. Donald Trump meeting Kim Jong-un. You remember that, right? Donald Trump meeting Kim Jong-un. And hold on, my friends. Donald Trump met Kim Jong-un, and Donald Trump also walked into North Korea. Donald Trump also walked into North Korea. He did that. I will never forget that that scene. I will never forget what I saw, and the world saw it. And the world saw it. How Donald Trump walked into North Korea. I mean, it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of bravery and courage to be able to do something like that. And just meeting with Kim Jong-un, just having a meeting with one of the top adversaries of the United States. When you make a list of, okay, what are the you'll call it like enemy countries. Okay, what countries are openly our enemies? Okay, and North Korea's name would be there. Okay, but look at what Trump did. Look at what Trump did. He met with the leader of an enemy country. Okay, with Kim Jong-un, because Trump believes in a whole new level of diplomacy. Okay, and just engaging directly rather than through ambassadors and other representatives. Obviously, if you want to negotiate with a country, you can negotiate through the diplomats, but it's a whole different thing when you have the two top leaders of two countries. Okay, countries that are openly their enemies, meet and smile and shake hands. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. Okay, really, it is amazing what Trump did, and the power of negotiation. Okay, I think a lot of diplomats, okay, people in foreign service, people who have spent decades in working in the diplomatic arena, I think a lot of people can learn from Trump, because he presented to the world an image of what negotiation looks like. It's really unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And so, my friends, what I'm trying to say is that when we have a strong leader, anything is possible. Anything is possible in terms of successfully negotiating with other countries. And so, if you remember, before the election, I kept saying that we have to vote for Donald Trump so that he can secure the border, he can combat inflation, he can lower energy prices, so that he can strengthen our relationship with our international allies. I kept saying that. Strengthen our relationship with our international allies. I didn't go into the details, and now I will tell you, we not only must strengthen our relationship with our international allies, but we also have to find a way to talk to and negotiate with those countries that are not our friends, okay? That are not our friends. And Trump can do that because Trump has done it before, and Trump will do it again, and he's going to do it much better this time, okay? Last time he was brilliant during his first 4 years, and this time he's going to be even better. And so, my friends, going back to the question of Mexico, Mexico is our neighbor. Mexico is our neighbor. We are doing international trade with Mexico all the time. People are, Americans are going to Mexico, okay, spending a lot of money, tourism dollars that Mexico earns. And then we also import a lot of stuff from Mexico, okay, not just food, but so many other things. And Mexico makes some money because we buy their stuff. And obviously Mexicans are coming to the United States also. And so there's movement of people back and forth. And Mexicans, when they come to the United States, they're also buying stuff, spending money here. So it's a mutual relationship, okay? Mexico and the United States of America. And by the way, whenever I talk about Mexico, I say it's such a beautiful country. So beautiful, so beautiful. Sadly, they have lots of problems, violent crime and gang activity and cartels and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of violence, a lot of crime in Mexico, but that's, that's something that their government has to deal with. Now, when we look at our interest, okay, in any international negotiation, each country will look at their interest. So when we negotiate with Mexico, they are going to look at their best interest. We're going to look at our best interest. And that's how things work. And we have to try to come to a win-win situation, a kind of negotiation, a kind of deal, like a kind of agreement in which both countries benefit. It doesn't always happen, but that's the ideal goal. And right now, my friends, what I see is that because of lack of leadership in the White House, we are actually losing because of lack of leadership in the White House. I mean, look at the migrants. Okay, they are coming from all over the world, and they're the migrants who come into the United States. They are not just from Mexico or other countries in Central America, South America. No, people from all over the world. People from all over the world. They cross into the United States through the southern border, and so if we have a strong leader in the White House, that leader would negotiate with Mexico and try to make sure that the country fully cooperates, that Mexico fully cooperates in preventing the influx of illegal immigrants, okay? And Mexico can do that if they want, but they're not doing it because the leader, the administration that's in power right now, they themselves support this open border policy. When Mexico sees that, hey, the Biden-Harris administration, they themselves, this administration in power, they have no problem with open border policy. They have opened up the border. So Mexico really has no interest in doing anything. And, Mexico has they don't see any reason to intervene and try to stop this flow of migrants, okay? But that's going to change. That's going to change when Donald Trump comes to office. And Mexican leaders, they already know this. They already know this. And I think what Donald Trump is going to do, okay, and obviously I'm not going to predict each and every step that he's going to take or what kind of tools, what kind of negotiation tactics he's going to use. But I do know one thing, that as soon as Donald Trump is sworn in as the president, he's going to have a conversation with Mexico. He's going to have a conversation with Mexico. And I think, and this is just me speculating, I think he'll make it very clear to Mexico that, hey, we're trading partners. And if you want this relationship to continue successfully and fruitfully, then you're going to have to play a big role in stopping this flow of migrants. Okay, so I think that's, in a nutshell, the approach that Trump's going to take. Obviously, he has a lot more information than I do. Okay, he's going to get he's going to get the briefings. He's going to get all the intelligence and all the information that he needs to make the decisions that he'll make. But I think it's important for the United States to remind Mexico, okay, that it's a relationship that can be a win-win relationship, but Mexico also has to play a part in ensuring that this flow of illegal immigrants is stopped, okay? I mean, why should people just walk into the United States and just make a claim that they are here for asylum, and they got a court date that's like several years down the road, and in the meantime they're just free to be here, and they're getting taxpayer funded benefits and taxpayer funded services and taxpayer funded all kinds of housing, food, etc. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And so, with Donald Trump in office starting January 20th of 2025, I am looking forward to seeing Mr. Trump, President Trump, take bold and strong steps, okay, in ensuring that Mexico also takes action on their end to stop these migrant caravans and flow of illegal immigrants in general. Okay, so really, I mean, right now, every day, I look at the calendar and I'm thinking, when is it going to be January 20th? When is it going to be January 20th? We are eagerly waiting for that date. We are eagerly waiting for Donald Trump to enter the White House and to start working in the Oval Office, right? So really, this is a crisis that's been going on for a long time. And the deportation program, my friends, that is what I'm looking forward to. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, my friends. And so it is important for the United States of America to strengthen our relationship with our international allies and to let the world know what we want, what we are looking to achieve, and in the case of the border crisis, Mexico must understand that we cannot allow illegal immigrants to simply pour into our country. Okay, during the 4 Biden-Harris administration years, that's what happened. But going forward, when Trump becomes the president, that's not going to continue. That's not going to continue. In fact, something else is going to happen. Something else is going to happen, which is we are going to be sending a lot of people back. Yes, that is going to happen. We would like to send a lot of people back, the illegal immigrants, those who are here illegally, those who are absorbing our tax dollars, those who are occupying our shelters, those who are using up the resources in our hospitals, those who are, consuming taxpayer-funded meals, whereas our American veterans and our American citizens stay hungry. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. My friends, this was quite a few months ago. I was watching an interview of a woman on TV, and she was saying how there's like a mobile food pantry, okay, like a big truck that shows up in her neighborhood every week on a certain day at a certain time, and that truck brings a lot of food, and so the people who live in the area, in the neighborhood, people who have various financial challenges and they are struggling financially, so they line up there and they get the food. It's like a food pantry, but it's not a fixed food pantry, it's a mobile food pantry. So it's like a vehicle that shows up with food. And she was saying how her family waits for that food truck to show up, and before the food truck shows up every week on a certain day, she would go, and others from the neighborhood would go and line up and wait for the truck to come and wait for their turn so that they can collect the food. And she was saying, she was saying, she was saying how one day she showed up, as she does. She showed up at the designated time in the designated location, and she saw that there were many people already there before she got there, and before the other people from the neighborhood got there. There were lots of people, foreign nationals, illegal immigrants. They were there waiting for the food. So when the truck came, they got the food. The illegal immigrants did, creating tremendous problems for the American citizens who rely on that food truck every week. I mean, this is real. Okay, this is real, and I wonder how many other anecdotes there are like this. And this is just like one example. This is just one example of the kinds of problems that the American citizens, especially those who are, those who are stuck in poverty, American citizens, those who are stuck in poverty, what kind of problems they are facing as a result of illegal immigration. Okay, so go to Chicago. Go to Chicago. There are many neighborhoods in Chicago where there are many Americans, American citizens, and they are seeing disruption in their neighborhoods because of the arrival of the illegal immigrants. Okay, I mean, all you have to do is look up some of the videos, some of the video clips from previous previous city council meetings in Chicago. Even there was recently there was a city council meeting, I think. I don't know if it was a particular committee meeting or I think it was a council meeting. It was a full council meeting, if I'm not mistaken. But you can look it up, you can verify. People stood there, the public, and they blamed Mayor Brandon Johnson, okay? And that's a guy who I always blame. I always blame because he's the absolute worst mayor of Chicago. And I think he's one of the worst, if not the worst mayor in the United States of America, Brandon Johnson of Chicago. So American citizens in Chicago, they went and they voiced their opinions, their concerns in front of the city leaders, including Brandon Johnson. And they basically said that the American citizens who need help, they're not getting the help because the illegal immigrants, they are getting all kinds of taxpayer-funded benefits. So this is unacceptable. Okay, hold on, my friends. Okay, this is unacceptable, and this cannot continue. And just imagine how many other communities are facing such problems, communities that we're not hearing about. Okay, we hear about what's happening in Chicago because it's such a big city. They get a lot of media exposure. Whatever happens in Chicago, it ends up in national news. And then New York, and then San Francisco, and then Los Angeles. But there are so many other communities. There are small towns, and there are small villages. Okay, communities with maybe 500 people or 2,000 people, or even, maybe a little bigger, but still small, like 8,000 people. Still small community compared to big cities like Chicago, New York, and San Francisco and LA. There are so many communities, small cities and villages and towns across the country that are suffering because of the arrival of the illegal immigrants. And so we want the illegal immigrants to be gone. Okay? We have no room for illegal immigrants who show up and they expect and demand taxpayer-funded benefits, and they commit crimes, and they cause all kinds of public safety challenges for our communities. And so it is unacceptable. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow this to happen. And so we have to make sure that everyone knows what we want to achieve, and that is, we want to secure the southern border. We want to stop the influx of illegal immigrants, and those who are here illegally and they are committing crimes, they are creating all kinds of problems. Those illegal immigrants have to be deported. Deport. Okay, that's what we need to do. Now, some people will say, "Oh, how can you deport so many people? There are millions and millions of them." Well, we will have to do it. We will have to do it. We will have to deport. Absolutely. And so Donald Trump, when he officially becomes the president, when he enters the White House, when he takes his seat in the Oval Office, he has to send a clear message to Mexico that, hey, Mexico, you're our neighbor, you're our partner, okay? We love doing trade with you. We love doing business with you. People are going back and forth between the two countries. That's great, and we want to keep it that way, but we cannot allow all these illegal immigrants crossing into our countries through the southern border. So we must demand that Mexico takes actions on their end, okay, to make sure that these migrants are not getting to the border with the intention of crossing into our country illegally. Okay, so really we have to have some tough conversations with Mexico, and I know Donald Trump can do it. I know Donald Trump can do it because he did it during his first term in office, and he can do it again. And Donald Trump this time, I mean, in 2017, Donald Trump was a new president. He was brand new, and there's a learning curve. So anytime you get elected to any office, whether you become a new mayor or a new city council member or a new state assemblyman or a new member of Congress, you have to learn things. Obviously, people who are very qualified, they get elected, very educated, qualified, they may have a lot of experience in other things. But when you're running the government, when you're playing a part in running a government, whether it's local government, state government, federal government, people have to spend some time learning how things happen or what to do or what mistakes to not make, or people make mistakes and then they learn from the mistakes. So I think Donald Trump, during his first 4 years in office, he was a very effective president. He was highly successful. Okay, he achieved a lot, but he also learned a lot. He made mistakes and he learned from the mistakes. He saw how the Democrats tried to obstruct his decisions at every step. And he also dealt with a lot of rhinos, right? It wasn't just the Democrats opposing Trump. There were many from the Republican Party. We call them rhinos. Okay, they have the title of Republican, but they're just rhinos. That's why they're called Republicans in name only. There were rhinos. Okay, so people from within the party who tried to stop Trump. They tried to create more barriers for Trump, did not cooperate with Trump, did not help him win, did not help him achieve, did not help him accomplish the goals that he set for the country. So there were a large number of Democrats, there were a few Republicans who tried to, make sure that Trump doesn't succeed. I mean, look at Liz Cheney. Look at Liz Cheney. Okay, Liz Cheney, she was a Republican congresswoman, but as we know, she doesn't like Trump. She did not cooperate with Trump. She did not help the America First agenda of Trump. And then, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, he's another person clearly anti-Trump. So you had anti-Trump, Republicans like Kinzinger and Cheney. And so Trump faced a lot of obstacles, a lot of roadblocks. But Trump has learned from that experience. And so I think in his second term, Trump is going to be very, very effective. He's going to be highly effective, and he's gathering his team members, people who are going to be part of his cabinet, and he's making great selection. I think he's making great selection, and so day one in office, Trump is going to take action to address the border crisis, and also he's going to have some detailed conversation with Mexico, and to make sure that Mexico cooperates with the United States to secure the southern border. We share that border with Mexico. It's our southern border. It's Mexico's northern border, right? So our southern border is Mexico's northern border. It's that border that we have to secure, okay, to make sure that no one is able to enter the United States illegally, okay? And previously, I've also talked about, hold on, my friends. I gotta look at something here. All right, okay, so, okay, I'm going to block somebody here, okay? Yeah, no more engaging with people. Those who come here to spread hate, okay? I was busy talking, so I can see your messages. I haven't read all the messages today. As you can see that I'm in a flow of sharing my views here. But when I see people are being disruptive or writing really nasty stuff, I'm going to be blocking them like I just blocked this individual. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. I've made the conscious decision. I've made the informed decision to not respond to the haters and the trolls. Okay, I'm not going to respond to the haters and the trolls, and the haters have no place here in this live chat. Okay. Previously, I used to respond, even if it was an insult, I would respond. Not happening anymore, because you know what, my friends, I've realized something, and I did realize it a long time ago, many years ago. I realized this, and I think we all know this. But now I'm really focusing on it. Time is valuable. Okay, time is precious. I mean, you're not going to be able to create more time. Okay, you can create money, you can make money. You cannot get back the time that you lose. And so I'm not going to waste a single minute. Okay, I'm not going to waste a single minute addressing these haters. Okay, some of the nasty people, and I say nasty because you can see that they are nasty when you read some of the comments they write. Okay, people who have nothing fruitful to do, and so they come to a nice discussion like this one and say nasty stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna block them. I'm just gonna block them. And so if you see anyone who's being disruptive, if I miss that person, just point that person out. Just say, Tosif, look at this, block this person. I'm gonna do that. Okay. As I move forward, as I said, I'm reading a lot of your comments. I'm not addressing your comments yet, just because I've more things to discuss. So I'm trying to finish my point. But I do see what you're writing. Not everything, but as much as I possibly can. And so if anyone's causing disruption, okay, just let me know, and I will block that person. Okay. I have the ability to go and look at some of the past comments, and if I see nasty stuff, just block. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, so my friends, the southern border is going to be the priority. It is going to be the priority, and it's the people's mandate. It's the people's mandate. Donald Trump has received more than 76 million votes. Winner of the popular vote, winner of the Electoral College vote. So Trump is going to have to do what he promised that he would do. He will have to secure the southern border, and he will have to stop the influx of the illegal immigrants. And obviously, he's going to have conversations with the leaders in Mexico, so that Mexico also cooperates with the United States to make sure that the illegals are not able to cross. Okay. All right, my friends, hold on one second. All right. Friday night, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I have more to talk about, so don't go anywhere. Every now and then I have to pause for a little bit, take a sip of tea. I just have one more sip left, I think, here in this cup. And I think Trump's going to do a great job. Okay. And okay, so my friends, talking about Trump, talking about the border, who is Trump going to pick for ICE? Okay, ICE. We know that Tom Homan has been named the border czar. So Tom Homan is going to be the border czar. Kristi Noem, governor of South Dakota, she is going to be the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. But who is going to be the director of ICE? ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We love ICE. We love ICE. All right, my friends, if you love ICE, okay, please write in the chat window, I love ICE or we love ICE. Okay, all right, we love ICE, right? A lot of respect for Tom Homan, a lot of respect for Tom Homan, a lot of respect for Kristi Noem. She's going to do a great job. You know, Kristi Noem, she sent, troops from National Guard troops. Was it National Guard troops? Yeah, I think she sent National Guard troops to the southern border. And Kristi Noem is the governor of a state that is very, very far away from the southern border. Okay. What's ICE? ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. When we say ICE, okay, we're talking about Immigration and Customs Enforcement. All right, National Guard. Hold on. Okay, so give me 1 second. I gotta look something up. Okay, yes. So South Dakota National Guard troops went to the southern border. Okay, so Kristi Noem made that decision. She sent South Dakota National Guard troops to the southern border to help secure the border, and she did that as a governor. She did that way before the election, and so now that she has been selected to be the Secretary of Homeland Security, I mean, Kristi Noem, she's going to be a star. She's going to do an amazing job as the Homeland Security Secretary, okay? So now the question is, who is going to be the director of ICE? Okay. Who is going to be the director of ICE? So we are seeing Donald Trump name different people who are going to be part of his cabinet, and other people in his administration, but we still don't know who is going to be the ICE director. I think that that decision may come anytime now, anytime, but we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. So I don't know who the director of ICE is going to be. That is a decision that Donald Trump will make, and we have to wait for that. So my friends, let me tell you some of the decisions that Donald Trump has already made. By the way, does anyone remember Kelly Loeffler, U.S. Senator from Georgia? She's now the former senator. Does anyone remember Kelly Loeffler? If you remember Kelly Loeffler, please let me know. Kelly Loeffler, any idea? I'm gonna wait 30 seconds. Okay, all right. I got one yes. Anyone else remember Kelly Loeffler? She served as a U.S. senator from Georgia. Okay, so Kelly Loeffler, she represented Georgia in the United States Senate. Senator Johnny Isakson from Georgia had resigned from the U.S. Senate, and then Kelly Loeffler was appointed as U.S. Senator in 2019. And unfortunately, Kelly Loeffler did not win the 2020 special election. Okay, so she was appointed, to the U.S. Senate from Georgia in 2019, but then in 2020 there was a special election, and we can talk about that 2020 election. There are so many questions still about the 2020 election, and I'm hoping that when Donald Trump becomes the president, he's going to investigate I'm hoping he does it. What happened in 2020? What happened in the 2020 election? There are so many unanswered questions. Okay, so 2020 special election, Kelly Loeffler did not win that. Who won? Democrat Raphael Warnock. Okay. Anyone remember Raphael Warnock? He's the U.S. Senator right now, one of the two U.S. Senators from Georgia. So Raphael Warnock won that election, and so Kelly Loeffler was, she was out of the Senate. And now it is being reported that Kelly Loeffler, people are expecting, and sources are saying that Kelly Loeffler will be named, will be selected to a secretary position in Trump's cabinet. Does anyone know what department she is expected to be selected for? Any idea? All right, my tea is gone. Any idea? So this is according to sources that Trump will select Kelly Loeffler for a cabinet position. Can you guess what that cabinet position is going to be? And obviously, I'm expecting that you're not gonna look up the information on a search engine. It is not health, not health. RFK Jr. has been selected for health. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been selected for the position of the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So it's not health. Kelly Loeffler. Okay, so it is expected, it is according to sources, that Donald Trump is going to select Kelly Loeffler to serve as the Secretary of Agriculture. Okay. Education, that position has already been announced. Okay. Linda McMahon has been selected for education. So yeah, it's going to be agriculture, Secretary of Agriculture. I don't think the official, I haven't seen the official announcement. Like Trump will usually, Trump publishes a statement, right? Nominating a person for a cabinet position. I have not seen that yet. As of the moment I started this live stream, I didn't see that announcement, but there are reports that it is expected that Trump will name Kelly Loeffler as the Secretary of Agriculture for that position, nominate Kelly Loeffler. Okay. So we're going to have to wait for that. By the way, Donald Trump has selected someone for the position of the Treasury Secretary. Any idea who that is? Okay, I'm just gonna tell you the name. Okay. By the way, if you want to email me, because I see a question, let me give you my email address again. Okay. Here's my email address if anyone wants to send me an email. By the way, when you email, I don't open PDF files. Okay. So if whatever you want to share, please write it in the body of the email. Okay. I don't click and open PDF files or anything like that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so Treasury Secretary. By the way, yeah, anyone can email me, my friends. My email address is available, tosif@tosifandam.net. If you want to send me an email, share any information, share any news updates, ask questions, you can do that. Okay. Just I don't open like PDF files or anything. So whatever you want to send me, just put it in the body of the email. That's great. Okay. hold on, my friends. I gotta look at something here. All right, so I gotta block someone, and I blocked someone. All right. Okay. Yeah, blocked that person. Anyone causes disruption going to be blocked. Okay, so President-elect Donald Trump will nominate Scott Bessent to serve as Treasury Secretary. Okay, and this is according to news reports. Now, who is Scott Bessent? He is the founder and CEO of Key Square Group. Okay, it's a global macro investment firm. Okay, Key Square Group, and also you know, it's he's got a lot of experience when it comes to economic policies. Okay, so taxation, spending, you know, understanding regulations and deregulation. So these are all things that Scott Bessent is an expert on. Okay, so he can, you know, he has the qualifications, he has the experience and the skills needed to be the Treasury Secretary. And so Donald Trump reportedly, I mean, it's being reported that he's going to nominate Scott Bessent to serve as Treasury Secretary. Okay, so one after another, Trump is making announcements. He's selecting people for his cabinet position and other positions in his administration. And so something very interesting about Scott Bessent, and I was reading more about him, and this is what I found. Scott Bessent reportedly suggested Scott Bessent reportedly suggested that Donald Trump should pursue this 3-point plan. 3-point plan. What is the 3-point plan? 3% economic growth. Okay, so focus on achieving 3% economic growth. Reduce the deficit to 3% of US GDP, and boost domestic energy production by 3 million barrels of oil per day. Okay. So that's the 3-point plan that Scott Bessent has. Okay. Focus on, like, target 3% economic growth. Try to reduce the deficit to 3% of US GDP, and increase domestic energy production by 3 million barrels of oil per day. Okay, so that's the 3-point plan. So now with Scott Bessent nominated by Donald Trump for the position of the Treasury Secretary, we're going to see whether or not this 3-point plan is implemented. Obviously, Donald Trump is making sure that he's selecting the right people, and if he's confident, if Donald Trump is confident about Scott Bessent, then I'm confident about Scott Bessent. So so let's see what happens. Okay. All right, my friends, we are 1 hour 4 minutes into the live stream. Let's see, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I would appreciate that. And you know, just stay connected, and there's going to be a lot to discuss going forward. Okay, and I'm waiting to find out. There are still some vacancies, I think. Hold on. Let me check one thing. Mm, let's see. Who has Trump selected? Okay. On the internet, they have these different charts that show who Trump has selected, what positions are still open. So I'm gonna look at that. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go through it real quick. Okay. So Donald Trump has selected Matt Whitaker as U.S. ambassador to NATO. Donald Trump has selected Pam Bondi for Attorney General because Matt Gaetz withdrew his name. Secretary of State would be Marco Rubio. That's Donald Trump's choice. Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Ellis Stefanik for Ambassador to the United Nations. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services. Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. Linda McMahon for Secretary of Education. Howard Lutnick for Secretary of Commerce. Lee Zeldin for the Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. John Ratcliffe as the Director of the CIA. Kristi Noem as the Secretary of Homeland Security. Doug Burgum for the position of the Secretary of Interior. Doug Collins for the Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Chris Wright for the Secretary of the Department of Energy. Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. Tom Homan's the Border Czar. We love that. We love Tom Homan as the Border Czar. Mike Waltz as National Security Advisor. Mike Huckabee, okay, former Governor Mike Huckabee as U.S. Ambassador to Israel, and then he selected other people for White House positions like Caroline Levitt for the position of the White House Press Secretary. Sean Duffy for Department of Transportation. Dr. Mehmet Oz for the position of the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So, these are the people he already selected. I didn't mention all the names. There's, for example, there's, Susie Wiles for Chief of Staff and other positions. Not possible to mention the whole list, but there are still positions that have not been filled that are still, like, no one's been nominated for those positions. So there are positions that are still available, and we're waiting to find out who Trump will select for all those positions. So, my friends, that's all I have for this evening, Friday evening. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining, for participating in the live chat, for sharing your thoughts and views with me. I'm sorry I could not respond to all the comments and questions that you have, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you so very much, my friends. And I gotta put this on. I forgot. Make America Great Again, right? We love this hat. We love this hat. Okay. So my friends, that's all for now. Thank you so very much. We are 1 hour, 9 minutes into the live stream. There will be more to share. So I will be coming in front of you with more live streams, and I'll also, I'll try to write a blog post. I have not written a blog post in a while. So if you have not checked out my website yet, please go to tausifanam.net, www.tausifanam.net. I will soon be publishing a blog post. So stay connected with me. through my website also. And also, I sent out an e-newsletter. I think I did that. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday when I sent out an e-newsletter. Okay, so if you want to receive my e-newsletters, all I need is your email address. Okay, so please go to my website, and if you are on the homepage and you scroll down, you'll see towards the end there's a box where you can type in your email address and sign up for my e-newsletter. So please do that. Otherwise, what you can also do is you can send me an email. My email address is pinned to the top of the chat screen. You can send me an email. That way I'll have your email address and I can add you to my email list so you get my e-newsletters. Okay, so my friends, thank you so very much for continuing to watch my live stream. I truly appreciate that. And those who are also listening to my podcast, thank you for that. My podcast is called Explore and Engage with Anam. Okay, I'm going to write this here. My podcast is called Explore and Engage with Anam. Okay, check out my podcast. Also, I have gotten some emails from some of you. I have not been able to respond because of the extremely busy schedule, but I will be responding to your emails. So I apologize sincerely if I have not responded to your emails yet. I will do that very soon. So thank you so very much, my friends. Thank you for continuing to support this channel. We will continue to grow, and together we will make America great again. So my friends, thank you. May God bless you all. May God bless our President-elect, Donald J. Trump, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you, my friends. Have a good night.